I think most people are coming around to the idea that it was probably a foreign country gathering compromising information in order to have massive influence in the United States.
And the FBI, Whitney, is so much an evil. I mean, I can't even explain to you how abusive the FBI is. It's unbelievable to me. I mean, this is a record. They, first of all, never offered me witness protection. And when I first called them, they knew I was telling. Believe me, they knew they knew everything I was telling them. They already knew because they're in on it. I said, well, these people are using child pornography, and they've stolen photographs of my sisters. That right there would have been life in prison for Jeffrey and Ghislaine. They also knew in 1996 that I'd been trafficked and Annie had been trafficked, and that would have been enough to put them away. But they never cared. They didn't care. The worst part was I named everybody. I named Donald Trump. I named everyone who I thought was a co-conspirator. So I named Alan Dershowitz, Donald Trump, absolutely the Clintons. These are people that I saw coming and going, that I knew were part of it, and all about things, especially Ghislaine, and she would always scream at me. She was very verbally abusive. I have a lot to tell you about her, a lot. I know her very, very well. I would say Virginia and I are the only two that really know her, and I know her well. I lived around her for a year, lived in all of their houses with them. And so, oh my gosh, that woman is the most dangerous asset for Israel that you can even imagine. I mean, around because she was raping just as many children. It's just unfortunate that all the Jewish people I met also happen to be pedophiles that run the world economy. This is how they spoke to me, and I did it. And this is how the elite speak to their quote servants. They're I don't know, just like the regular people who aren't Jewish. Anybody who was not Jewish, and you're right about this, but the way they spoke about them, it was really horrifying. And it showed me a great deal about how these people truly believe that they're chosen to do. I mean, and it was every one of them, the way they spoke. And one time I heard Isabel say to her mother, Eileen, Mommy, why do you call Maria a nobody? And she said, honey, Isabel, Maria is not a Jew. She is a nobody.
Wow. That's what they say. Well, the Maxwell family have
you should include it. You should include it.
What's it called? Chabad Lubavitch. And group openly talks about how only Jews are human and the rest of human beings are like cattle, basically.
Constantly made it very clear to me. You can't eat at the country club because you're not a Jew. You can't. And I mean, it's like they get hit with a soccer ball in the gut. I've told every news network, and they go, oh, we can't talk about that. Of course, you can't talk about the truth, right? You can, but most people just won't. And I think it's a huge part of it because this is a problem. This elitism is very deep, and these are the people pushing racism. These are the people pushing white. They're saying there's white supremacy, which maybe there is in some ignorant Southern hillbilly groups, but I don't know any white supremacists. But I know a lot of Jewish supremacists. They're all elites, and they're all connected, and they're all one big group, and they are the biggest supremacists I've ever met. And the things they said about black people made me cry. Honest to God, it made me sick. I was like, I can't. And they make it very clear. They made it very clear that I was a servant because I was white. I was a white servant. Yeah. It was made very clear to me. No. You're just a servant. You're white. And I honestly, after this experience, I think the FBI was created to protect these people.
Well,
oh my God, yes. Basically, when I told them everything, I was on the phone for 45 minutes with my first report, right after talking to the NYPD. As we're getting off the phone, he says, don't tell anybody. Who says that to someone? And not only that, I had asked, are you going to do anything to protect me or anything? And they said, no. And then Acosta made sure that everything was, ruined. Vicky Ward is, I'm going to tell you right now, she's a monster. She's a true monster. She's not a hero. We had to send a cease and desist letter because she's harassed my family for so long to try to save her face because she told Ghislaine Maxwell over drinks that I reported them to the FBI. Can you believe that? I started hanging out with Ghislaine then, after knowing what Ghislaine did to me, after everything I told her that Ghislaine was doing to children. She starts hanging out with her and says that money makes up for all the wrongdoings in New York society. It's a quote from her article.
Wow.
Yeah. And so then Vicky Ward contacts David Boies and says, "What did I ever do to you?" She chews out David Boies, and I mean, she's a nightmare. So, and guess what, Vicky? You didn't even do it in the end. All you did was become friends with them. She became their friend. She was friends with Epstein. She considers herself an elite.
Yeah,
and
I've noticed that.
Makes it very clear.
I've seen that a little bit. I have a friend,
yeah. We would go in the limo, and she'd be chatting with Yvonne, and then she'd go, "Oh, wait, hold on. I see someone." And she'd run out and, talk to a child and exchange information with them, and then come back, and then that child would be, the next day at the house.
Wow.
And I would say, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm scouting for Victoria's Secret models." And these were, kids who'd just gotten out of class, so they had their uniforms on.
How old were they? What did you say?
I mean, it was very rare that they... 12, 13.
Right, okay.
14 maybe at the oldest. Yeah. Like Brace's age, you know? And I would say to her, why are Victoria's Secret... I asked her about 10 times because I have OCD. And if I don't understand something, I'll just keep asking it. And so I would say to her, why are their children modeling for Victoria's Secret? They don't even have breasts, you know? And she's like, "Oh, no, we need nubiles for Victoria's Secret. We need that was the word she used constantly, nubile. Anyway, oh, really disturbing. Yeah. Whitney, I've got to tell you something. This is why I've been dying to tell you. There are only 30 women that have come forward. 30. Whitney, I saw I'm not kidding, I'm very disturbed by this part. I saw at least 5 girls come in that house a day. I mean, on a really slow day, there would be 3 little girls.
I know it was really high, the actual amount.
Oh, Whitney, it's in the thousands. Are they? Where are they? Are they dead? These children have to be dead because here's the thing. Brad was like, well, what if they be drug addict? What?
You think some of them were killed?
I think that they had to be, because here's the thing, Whitney. Brad said he knows of 500 just in Florida. We can't find them. Where are they? And the thing is, this kid's they were the sweetest ladies from the Philippines ever. And they came in, and they were kind of tucking me in, and one of them whispered, I said, how long have you worked here? And she said, "We were stolen." What does that mean? They were stolen. They were trafficked. And they had women from the Philippines in Florida, and in New York, and in the house on in the ranch when the president was coming. Okay, and this happened when I was there 3 times in 1 year at that house. The Bill freaking Clinton came, and we all had to leave except 2 Filipino maids and Chef Andy, and that's it. And everyone else had to clear out, and I mean clear out, and I would be the last to go. And Ghislaine was running around, and Andy, everybody was decorating to the hilt and getting, candies laid out and foods, and everything was spectacular. And that happened 3 times when I worked there, and no one ever believed me because there was no security detail. There was no announcement that the president was coming, but he was going to that house with children. You better believe children. It. And Ghislaine would say, "Oh, I've got to get lots of girls today. The president's coming." And I told the FBI all of this. And he was the sitting president. And they knew I was telling the truth. I could tell that they knew. And they did. They thought it was just great. They just wanted to feed more children to him, I guess.
Ann Coulter, welcome to the show, Ann. I remember that you've been on the Jeffrey Epstein case since the very beginning.
They at least got Epstein some jail time.
There were video cameras all over this guy's house.
Yes. And according to his victims, they were required to service Jeffrey Epstein's powerful friends, sometimes going to their hotel room, sometimes in the house, sometimes on the plane, and come back to Epstein to report on the sexual proclivities of the powerful man. Cameras apparently all over the planes, the rooms, that sort of thing. So it certainly looks like blackmail, extortion. I think most people are coming around to the idea that it was probably a foreign country gathering compromising information in order to have massive influence in the United States. All the powerful people around Epstein, and the question hanging out there that, again, the media keeps, blowing over. Oh, isn't this funny? He doesn't really make his money, trading on Wall Street. Well, where does his money come from? So it does make you think that there could be a state sponsor behind this.
I have no idea.
Again, I don't think it's Russia, but let's say it is to keep the left interested.